Been working on your flams. I hope that thing that I showed you last time helped. Yeah, I dig this ProLogic's practice pad. I don't always use this one to practice on. I kind of swap between practice pads a lot. We're using it for the Hey Man videos mainly because I like it because it's got a nice kind of gum rubber kind of bouncy surface, but then it has these rims like a snare drum, and so you can kind of get some cool stuff going by sort of rim shotting that little plastic rim there. It's a cool thing. Let me show you one more thing that you can do flam wise as a warm up. I think before I showed you a thing with flam accents and flam paradiddles. There's another one that I use when I'm warming up sometimes. That's the same kind of 3/4 feel with the flam accents. So that sort of thing. But then we can put in some flam taps. Just 2 of those at the end. Now, this isn't going to alternate, so you might want to flip it over and do it left-hand lead as well. But you basically do 4 of those flam accents. Flam tap, flam tap. I love that as a warm-up. Again, that's another one that my buddy Kevin showed me when he was giving me lessons when I was like 18 or 19 years old, and I never forgot it, and it's a great warm-up exercise. It's a very musical way to put those 2 rudiments together, and there's all kinds of different ways that you can turn that thing around and do some cool stuff with it. You could do a flam accent and a flam tap, so you go... which makes a grouping of 5. So maybe at some point when we go behind the drum set for one of these, I'll show you how you can use something like that on the drum set. It's cool. It's a cool idea. I like odd numbers for groups because it gets us unlocked from that grid of quarter notes where everything's so nicely squared off beat to beat. So anyway, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. If you hadn't been to the channel, I'm Brian. Hi, good to see you. Anyway, this is a time when I usually try and show you something on the pad that will help you with your hands, and then from there we just usually answer a question. I've got a bunch of questions here on my phone that people have sent in the last few weeks. Thank you if you've watched any of these videos so far. I think we're going to do one of these a week at least. I enjoy doing these, and because of the comments that I get on the videos and offline with people that I talk to every week, it's just a good experience. It's a great conversation starter. Let's see. I always like to start with a saucy question. All right, here's a saucy question. Do you post everything that you do? I guess they're meaning with work. Do you post everything you do? No, I do not. Unlike what my wife would probably tell you. No, there are a lot of things that I don't post that I do as far as work, day to day or week to week. There are gigs that I play on that I never post a picture of, at the office. One, I don't think of it as an office. I really think of it as an opportunity to go out and provide a service. I do think of it as a business. Go out and play some music for some people that are basically they're paying for my time. So, but I don't post everything that I do. Some of it's just not that interesting, or I can't find a story to wrap around the picture, or there's not experience to it, or in some cases it's just a quick in and out. There are some corporate gigs I do where I literally play for an hour. It takes me longer to load in and set up and tear down and load out than it does to actually play the gig. And it's like, what's the point of doing that? Or there are recording sessions that I'll do here where I can't post the music. Either the client doesn't want that music out before it's time. With most of the things that you see that I do post, I usually ask, hey, can I make a post out of this? I really think it's a cool story, or in some way I'll ask for permission before I post that stuff. Especially if it's going to end up long term in a place. But there are a lot of times that I'll record something that a client doesn't want that thing out at all. They don't want people to. They don't want to ruin the surprise, I guess, or they don't want me to hamper whatever story they're trying to tell about the music that they're making. I totally understand that. Totally cool with that. So there's only a fraction of the things that I do that I can actually post about. So there are a lot of those kind of instances where no, I don't always post about it. And then there's other services that I offer, whether I'm mixing for a client or I'm mastering something, or maybe I'm doing a lesson or a consult or something, and I don't post those things at all. So no, I don't post everything. Just the things that I can post about. So where's this other one? Oh. This one actually comes from a student that I know that watches everything. Brian, what are most people getting wrong about Moeller? And that question actually should have been prefaced. Should have prefaced that as saying, if you've taken lessons with me at all, or if you've talked to me about Moeller at all, then you know that I'm not a real fan of 98% of the content that's out there instructionally about Moeller, because a lot of it is wrong. And a lot of it really misses the point of what Moeller's for. There's tons of videos where guys are just kind of throwing their hands at the drum there. They're just throwing their hands at the drum and trying to get multiple notes out of each stroke. Yeah. And labeling. This is the Moeller technique. You use this whip. They're missing the point of Moeller. And so that's frustrating for me. It's frustrating for me as someone who has studied this technique, and now to the point where I don't even think about it very much. And I probably made changes to originally how I learned it from Jim Chapin. That it sometimes it doesn't even really resemble Moeller, but it is in a lot of ways. So what are people getting wrong that are getting it wrong? I talked about it in the last video just a skosh when it comes to the flams. We were looking at flam form. The part that nobody talks about Moeller, that is the real secret of Moeller, is the very first step. Whether you're playing with that whip stroke or just the tap, both of those are strokes in the Moeller system. You've got your downstroke or your whipping stroke, and then your tap. The thing that so many people, especially those guys that are trying to get like 8 strokes out of one, 8 hits out of one wrist stroke, they miss the very first tenet that Jim always talked about, which was stop at the top. And because you're missing stop at the top, you're really missing the real secret of the Moeller system. Because at the heart of it, Moeller is about using technique to help you get good sounds. It's not about playing faster. It is about playing more efficiently, but it's not about playing faster. And that's what frustrates me so much. Everybody that's trying to show you Moellers, they're trying to blaze these paradiddles and blaze these different flam rudiments and they're trying to blaze all this stuff, and that's not what it's about. That stop at the top idea, that idea of throwing the stick down, whether it's in the whip stroke or in the tap, throwing that stick from a place and that stick returning to that place so that I'm only really pushing the stick down, it's pushing me back up. That, to me, is the biggest secret of this system, because you can stop at the top anywhere. I can stop at the top right here. I can stop at the top right there, so that I can always get a really full, round, resonant stroke out of everything that I play. And by doing that stop at the top, you have to relinquish your hold over the stick. You've got to work with the stick and with the energy And by working with the energy, we have to give to that energy. We have to let it actually carry us back up. So when I'm playing that stop at the top tap, whether it's here, in a real large full stroke, or even down here where I'm playing stop at the top at like a half stroke, I'm pushing the stick down, but the stick's pushing me back up. And I can go my whole dynamic range, even when and especially when I'm playing soft. When I'm playing soft, I've got to be even more relaxed than when I'm playing super large, because I've got to every time you create a stroke, no matter what height you create that stroke from, you're creating some energy there. When you push that stick down, that energy's got to go somewhere. And so that energy, if we relax the fingers, not let the fingers off the stick, but move with the stick, so that the fingers and the stick move together. And if we don't lock our wrist down, we can leave the energy in the stick, and that's the whole point. And that's a large part of what you get as a benefit of learning how to use the Moeller system, is you learn how to leave the energy in the stick, and then as a byproduct of that, you're doing things like playing off of the drum or playing off of the cymbal. And all of those things are going to get you a better sound. It's going to be a fuller, richer sound. I was showing a student of mine the other day, just on a regular ride cymbal. If you lock your fingers down and you play mostly with your wrist on the ride cymbal, it gets one kind of tone. But if you let those fingers go, if you let those fingers move supplely with the stick, either in this French grip position where the thumb is up on top, or more of a German or American where the thumb is over to the side, the back of the hand is more up. In either one of those, the moment that you unlock those fingers from a static position or from locking the stick down, the moment that they're moving in concert with the stick, the moment that we unlock the wrist and let it relax so that the energy can carry us back into our stop at the top position, it changes the sound of the drum or the cymbal that we're hitting. In the case of the ride cymbal, it drops the pitch and it gets a smoke. In this case, with that ride cymbal, it got a smokier, lower pitch. You probably hear my dogs as somebody's pulling in the driveway. It gets us a different sound, and to me, a more open sound on the drums or the cymbals. So that really is what people are missing from the Moeller. There's a lot of variations. We can talk about in another video about how to do things with Moeller that are not strict Moeller, where you're doing this thing like Jim talked about, where everything's high. When Jim taught that, he generally taught, or at least all the material that's out there with Jim, everything's high, everything's full range. That's just so you can learn the motion. But when I'm down here, I'm playing Moeller still the same. It's just that whip is so soft and so small that you can't really tell it. But I'm getting a full and resonant sound, and I'm relaxed when I do it. So I hope that answers your question about Moeller, what I do or don't like about what's online. Again, I'm trying to keep these things short, so I don't want to turn this into like a 45-minute lesson on Moeller. If that's something that's of interest to you, maybe we could do either an entire YouTube lesson, or maybe I'll do an entire course, because there's so much about Moeller that isn't online anywhere, that I learned from Jim and that I learned from decades of studying his stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you get a ton of value out of this. If you do, please leave it in the comments below. It's what encourages me to do more of these videos. I really appreciate you for watching. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below this video. Make sure to like it. If you got a lot out of it, that helps more people see it. Hit that subscribe button, and that's all I got for you. So until next time, be awesome to yourself. Be extra awesome to everybody that you meet. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks so much.